This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 346 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today, we're going to talk about unlocking the secrets on how to grow your blog in 2023. We're going to talk about discovering the latest and most effective strategies to actually grow your blog to the next level. So before we do that, I want to make sure that if you haven't already grabbed your Blog Like a Pro guide, that you do so. This guide is going to take a lot of the principles that we're going to talk about in this episode and put it into practice. There's some worksheets that you're going to work through as far as figuring out your positioning, better understanding of keyword research, and how to make that actually apply that. So make sure if you haven't already grabbed that, you can send me a DM at Jenny_Melrose on Instagram, or in the blog post for this episode, you will see that it is linked there. All right, so let's really talk about the latest and most effective strategies to grow your blog. The first piece, of course, to unlocking the secrets is that when we are looking at how to grow and increase our blog's traffic. Now, when we're looking to do this, the first place we have to start is keyword research. I hear a lot of people, and I also made this mistake myself, trying to work backwards, where instead they're creating the content and then trying to put keyword research in and implement these keywords within the content that's already written. Now, if you're updating content, that's one thing, but moving forward and creating new content, you want to start with your keyword research. I want you to look at the content that you create and look at the pillars of content. So if you're a nutritionist, what are the things that would be considered your pillars? Probably the foods that you eat, the way in which you take care of yourself mentally, so self-care, then potentially also the amount of sleep that you get, and then also maybe one of the principles that you really talk about is the exercise. So those would be 4 pillars of content that you would start to think about. What are the problems that my people have within those pillars? So if we're looking at the idea of exercise, who is your target market? Who is it that you're trying to speak to? And think about the problems that they have and look to see what the keyword research is. What is the volume on those terms? And what you will find is when you do that keyword research prior to on a specific problem, you're going to find other problems that are connected with more content for you to continue to create. So in order to increase your blog traffic, you need to be thinking about the problems that your people are searching for in Google and do that keyword research. Now, if you already have content created and we want to be able to increase our search engine ranking with the content that we already have, you want to take a look at Google Search Console, see what terms you are already ranking for which posts, and see if you can't improve them. Update them. See what else is ranking ahead of you for those queries, and look to see if you can make some improvements by answering more questions, being more thorough, making sure that the keywords are in the correct spot. You've got a great meta description. How can you improve that article to make it better and to improve in the rankings? That is one of the ways that you can definitely make sure that you are being, one, found by your ideal people, but then also continuing to have content out there that is going to already have some traffic potentially on it and authority because it's been out there a little bit longer. You're just updating it. So now what we really want to start to think about is once we have the content out there, how can we actually promote it so that it continues to grow your blog? Well, many people, especially when we're bloggers, we have a tendency to think that social media is going to be my answer, and it's not. I want you to actually start with the idea of growing your email list, because when you grow your list with the proper audience by giving them something in exchange for their email address, and then you email them when you have new content to continue to engage them, that is how you will increase your readership and have return readers coming back to you. So first, think about promoting your content via your email list. and then start to look towards social media as ways to continue to be found. But more so with social media, it is you're already have been found by those people. You're just continuing to get to know them better. I would still recommend Pinterest for potential new traffic because it obviously is a search engine. You can use keywords there and people are searching for specific things there. And then also when it comes to social media, as far as Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, still thinking about those keywords because at some point they could shift the algorithm to be more keyword heavy. We have noticed that with Instagram as of late. You also, with those social media platforms, want to keep in mind, is your audience there? So when I tell you to put your content out, to promote it so that it can be found by people, is your ideal target audience actually on those platforms? Because you don't need to be everywhere. You need to be where your people are, where your target audience is. And if you are unfamiliar with really figuring out your target audience, make sure that you go back and listen to the episode on knowing your audience. It's going to help you a ton. That was just recently put out so that you can really start to understand how to grow your blogging community of readers so that they continue to come back to you, continue to rely on you for the answers to their problems. When you're looking at the types of content to actually create, you want to start really, again, go to those pillars. Think about the key pillars of content that you are going to create, that you're going to want to be known for. Do the keyword research. Make sure that your people are getting their problems answered. Because if you're only putting up content and you're putting up willy-nilly, just kind of throwing spaghetti up against the wall, they are not going to understand what you are known for, what problem you can actually solve for them. And then when we are looking at social media, I really want to emphasize the fact that with social media, the first thing that you have to think about is my audience here? Are they on this actual platform? And then deciding if it is best for the type of content that you create. Yes, you may have an audience that's on TikTok, but are they going to TikTok to learn how to become better in the kitchen? Or are they going to TikTok to be amused, to watch people dance and do cat memes and whatever else potentially could be found over there? Really thinking about, not only is your audience there, but are they consuming your content there? Because if they're not, that would be a place that I would not recommend necessarily to spend your time. I would recommend get on a platform that is going to make sure that it is going to grow your readership, your email list, your blog traffic, because those are the things that you own. You do not own these social media platforms. So you have to always be keeping that in mind as you continue to try to build that community around your blog. You can use social media to really continue to have that engagement with your audience. But again, it's not going to be the sole purpose of finding new people. It's to continue to engage with them, get questions answered, be able to have conversations in DMs so that they feel more of a connection with you and are more likely to take action on the content that you are offering them, whether that is a product, a service, whatever it might be for you, or if it's simply clicking a link to go read the article that solves a problem. Really thinking about how you can improve your know, like, trust factor with your audience. And that is the way that you should be using social media, for that purpose. Not for the purpose of trying to drive traffic to your blog, but more to increase that engagement with your audience so that they do feel like they are ready to take action with something that you offer. All right, you guys. I hope, if you haven't already, that you grab my Blog Like a Pro guide. It will help you really start to be able to make sure that you have a plan in place for creating content. And if you haven't already left me a rating and review, I would so appreciate it if you did so. Just scroll down in your podcasting app and you'll see a spot to leave a rating, and then a quick review can be one sentence just telling me what your takeaway was from this episode. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you all then.